BF, 20M, walked in naked while I, 20F, was on Zoom with friends. My BF came out of the shower and didn't realize I was on Zoom with friends. He came right up to me, and once I realized, I shrieked and pushed him out of the frame. My friends got a close view of his penis, which happens to be very small when soft. He's now embarrassed and asked that I tell him who was on the call and how they reacted. They didn't say much immediately after except whoa, but we did discuss it later in our group text. I'll copy and paste what they said. Poor, his name / that was awkward. Is he embarrassed? Me? Yeah, very. Sorry guys. NGL, I have never seen one like that. Was that his normal or was he really cold? Me? Normal, but he was probably cold too. Or I thought it was so cute and tiny. Is he small hard too? Me? No, he's a good size and knows how to work it. Nice. A grower. That was pretty much it. Do you think I should share this with him like he asked? They didn't say anything mean. Obviously he knows he's small. I think he can handle what they said. Hopefully he thinks I stuck up for him well. No, just say they all that it was funny and felt bad for him knowing he was surely embarrassed, and that's it. The only way out of this is to get him fully hard and show the gang. Danger Will Robinson, danger. Do not tell him. Tell him, they didn't see much but wanted to tell you they are sorry if you were embarrassed. They didn't see much, ouch. Pretty inappropriate comments were made. I would have shut it down right away. You don't need to defend his penis. Everyone knows they don't always look the same when not erect. It's not okay to let them talk about his part. I would definitely not be okay with my boyfriend talking about my vagina or boobs to his friends. I just don't get the comments personally. Among men I know and grew up around, any comments about another man's wife / GF like that would be grounds for an ass stomping. I'm sorry, but you should have stood up for him a bit more. They got no right even talking about his thing. You wouldn't like it if him and his guy friends started talking about your parts, would you? Just the fact that they discussed it, WTF? None of your business is a sentence you can use! Exclamation mark. My 22F, BF, 26M, lied to me for our entire relationship, 2 years, and I don't know what to do. Obligatory mobile warning. Too long, didn't read, is at the bottom. If the post is too long, please don't repost. I, 22F, have been in a loving relationship with my boyfriend, 26M, for 2 years. At the beginning of our relationship he met my family and friends and they loved him. After the meeting with my family, I asked to meet his. He has refused. According to him, they have a great relationship but he's not ready to introduce me to them. I was able to meet his friends and we talk quite often. We don't live together but we have spent the night out with each other. We have never been intimate with each other upon his request. I never questioned it or pressured him. BC, I want him to be comfortable. He also shared that any touch around his private area makes him uncomfortable, so I absolutely don't touch him there. Over the last few months, we have been talking about marriage and our future plans. I brought up meeting his family. I basically said I want to meet his family. BC, we are seriously talking about marriage. He reluctantly agreed and we met over Zoom 2 months ago. The meeting went amazing. I was so excited and we exchanged numbers. There is no strict lockdown here, so his parents had asked if we would like to spend this past weekend with them. When we arrived last Friday everything was going well but my BF wouldn't leave me alone with either of his parents. He refused to let me out of his sight or let them talk about his childhood. On Saturday his dad asked him to help with some yard work. While they were out, his mom and I got to talking. At one point she said, "I'm glad my son found someone so accepting." I was worried he wouldn't find anyone. This was odd to me, so I asked what she meant. She then explained that BF was FDM trans. He had started hormone in his teens and got top surgery when he was 18 to 19. From the look of shock on my face, she knew I didn't know. I didn't know and he never told me he was trans. I was visibly upset. BC, I felt betrayed. They walked in and his mom explained she told me he was trans and didn't know that I didn't know. He was angry and yelled at me for prying in his life. The weekend was cut short and I left. I have absolutely no issue with my BF being trans. I'm open to dating any man whether they are trans or not. The issue I have is that he actively lied to me and withheld the truth from me for 2 years. I ignored all calls from them until today. I answered a call from his mom and she explained that she thought that I knew BF was trans. BC he told them I knew. She apologized and I told her it wasn't her fault. I answered his call next and we talked. I straight up asked him why he didn't tell me and when he was planning on telling me. He said he didn't trust me and he was maybe going to tell me after we were engaged. I went off. I called him a liar for not telling me. We had been together for 2 years, and he couldn't trust me. He broke my trust by actively lying and hiding the truth. I would have accepted him for who he is like I did in the beginning. I told him I'm reconsidering our relationship BC of his lack of trust, his lies, and the fact that I'm just hurt. My anger is coming from the fact that we were planning a life together and still didn't trust me to tell me he's trans, while telling others I knew. Now he and some of his friends are sending me messages saying I'm transphobic and an asshole for not accepting him for who he is. They keep saying I have no right to be upset. I'm super emotional right now and don't know if they are right. I respect his identity and want him to be happy, but I also feel he shouldn't have lied for so long. All of his friends knew and some were under the impression that I knew as well. I haven't told anyone outside of this situation about this in the fear that I would out him accidentally. I don't know who knows he's trans and who doesn't. I don't know whether I have a right to be upset, if I should try to have another conversation with him, or if I should even be upset. Please help. Any helpful advice is welcome. Thanks. Too long didn't read. My BF lied to me for 2 years about being trans after his mom accidentally told me. He said he didn't trust me to tell me and was planning on maybe telling me after we got engaged. I have no problem with being trans and I love him for who he is. I'm not getting messages from him and his friends for being transphobic. Edit. Thank you to everyone who has given me advice. I appreciate it. I do plan on talking to him again, maybe tomorrow, when my thoughts are together. I want to point out that this post isn't meant to bash the trans community, but to seek advice on my personal experience I am currently going through. I don't condone any transphobic comments or DMs. Edit number 2, he texted me and asked if we could talk tomorrow, just the two of us over FaceTime. I agreed and I feel confident going into the conversation BC of the advice that was given. I want to say again that I'm extremely grateful and appreciative of all your advice in the comments and my DMs. I may have an update sometime tomorrow. Edit number 3, I want to thank everyone again who gave helpful advice and the awards. I had a serious conversation with him and these were the main points addressed, condensed. Sorry if it's long. 1. We broke up. We decided it would be best if we went our separate ways with low contact until further notice. Friendship is possible in the future, but not a relationship. Still love him but I think it's for the best. 2. I explained that it hurt that he didn't trust me to tell me. He explained that he didn't tell me BC was scared of the unknown. He acknowledged that there was nothing I did to make him feel scared. 3. He apologized for not telling me and hiding as much as possible. He admitted he lied to many people about my knowledge of his gender identity and was hoping they wouldn't bring it up before he could tell me. He also apologized for calling me transphobic. 5. He didn't know his friends texted me. They were under the impression that I knew and I was breaking up with him BC he was trans. He put us all in a GC who explained everything. After they knew the entire situation, they apologized. 6. He has agreed to go to therapy to sort through his feelings and some unresolved issues. My ex is not a bad person, he just made a really bad decision. I'm hoping he can find some peace through therapy. 7. I'm not going to go into detail to family and friends about the breakup to not out him. I also shared that I posted this to Reddit anonymously. He was upset but ultimately understood I couldn't go to anyone I knew without outing him. I want to thank all those who offered me support and helped me work this out. I want to thank all the trans people and all those who have dated someone trans to share their stories. Your insight helped me more than you can imagine. Looking back, I think I didn't see some issues with our relationship BC. This was my first serious relationship and I wanted it to go well. I was okay with lots of things BC. I didn't want to lose him and I wanted to respect his boundaries. I was naive to not catch some major red flags. After a while I got comfortable and only began to question things when we started talking about the possibility of marriage. TBH, I feel kinda stupid. I think I'll pause on dating and focus on myself. I think I'll go to therapy too. I'm still emotional so I'll be logging off for a while. Thanks again for all your help. I'm trans, non-binary to be specific. My boyfriend is trans too. It took us both a while to come out to each other. I understand that people can be hesitant about coming out to someone that they're interested because of transphobia and a fear of rejection. But a serious relationship for 2+ years, especially when you plan on getting engaged, at that point, if he still didn't trust you, he should have broken up with you. By then, I'm sure he knew where your political and personal beliefs lie, and that you would be totally fine with him being trans. He at least could have asked your opinion on dating trans people without mentioning that he was, and then proceed from there. This is beyond strange. I really hope you can figure out what to do from here. And no, you are not being transphobic for calling him out on lying to you. He said he didn't trust me. He didn't trust you, but was going to propose marriage. He lied to you for 2 years. It's your trust that has been broken. This is a huge deception. Lying about being trans is a pretty significant piece of information to withhold. If having biological children is important to you, this is impossible. So if that was ever a discussion you had, which I'm assuming if you were planning on marriage, you would have, then he lied about that as well. He also lied to his family. So you're basically with someone who is comfortable hiding extremely significant information from you because they don't trust your reaction to the matter. What happens when that information involves your finances, your home, your children? This does not make you transphobic, and please don't let his friends make you believe that. You have a right to be angry that your serious soul lied to you. Aside from the deception and lying, the lack of consideration for your choice to decide sexual compatibility. This is my major concern. He has brought in outsiders to harass you and invalidate your feelings. You don't do that. You just don't. Can you imagine being married to him and having an argument and he responds by rounding up all his friends to gang up on you and harass you until you agree to give him what he wants? We seem to hear of that behavior quite a lot on this sub, and it's from people complaining that their partner is a liar, can't admit they're wrong, or is controlling. I want to cut contact with my parents after I caught them insulting my wife. But everyone tells me I shouldn't do it. My wife and I have a 7-year age gap. She is 34, I'm 27. I love her so much, she is so loving and caring and gorgeous. But because of our age gap, my parents always thought our relationship was a bad idea. Even though my relationship with my wife is my best relationship by far. I knew that my parents didn't like our relationship, but I never allowed them to say anything to her or me about it. But a couple of days ago I was at my parents' house and I caught them arguing with my wife. They told her the only reason that their son is dating her is because of her looks and that she is a witch for blinding their son. As you can tell, I was furious. I packed my stuff and left their house immediately with my wife. She told me they have always told her these kind of things from time to time, but she never told me anything because she didn't want my relationship with them to be ruined. I'm so fucking angry. I want to cut contacts with them forever. My wife told me there is no need, but I really want to. They didn't support my sister when she came out, and now this. Everyone in our family is telling me life is too short and I shouldn't do it. How can I approach this situation? I have a bit of free time and I've been on this sub for a while, so I wanted to ask for advice.